Hi guys, David Pitts Palmer here, DPP, coming to you live. First of all, I want to say thank you to all of you guys who were sending all the love and prayers our way. And maybe this video could help somebody, because I can't remember how many years ago this has been, but a long time ago, what I'm about to tell you. Sometime maybe when I was around 18 or 19, something like that, I was in a dark place. And being in a dark place is not a good thing at all, because when you're in a dark place, you start thinking about things that you want to do that is not good. Because you're just there and you want to just give up, and you just don't see a way out. So I was there not just one time, but I was there twice. I was there right after high school, and I was there maybe a year or so after that. And I have to say thanks be to God, I'm still here. And also thanks that my dad was there, because my dad saved me. Because 2 times I tried to end my life. And just think about it. Here I am, 61 years old. I wouldn't be here now talking about this if it had taken place. So I've got to say that I back then, I didn't have any counseling, or nobody pulled me to the side to give me tips on what to do and what not to do. My dad did the best he could, but there was nothing there for me. No sessions, no people at the school to help me out, none of that. The only thing that pulled me out of that is by the grace of God, because I acted on it. Because sometimes people will say things, but I actually acted on mine. I actually took pills. I took a whole bottle of pills and tried to end my life. So it's one thing to say you're going to do it, but then to take action. I took action, and I did try to end my life. But, it's because I was in a dark place. Because sometimes when you're in a dark place, nothing that's going on around you will pull you out of that. Only by the grace of God, it'll happen. So after losing our daddy, my brother Jeff, he's autistic. So it sent him into a dark place. He was in a dark place. He was in high school when daddy passed away. And one of the teachers recognized that something was going on with him. So they recognized it, and they told me to take him to go get some help. And I did. I took him to go get some help, some counseling. So, again, when that happened with him, somebody recognized it, and I took my brother to go get some help. Now with me, again, I didn't have help. By the grace of God, I got through it. Not one time, not 2 times, but my brother Jeff, he was really quiet. He shut down pretty much. And it's hard to break through somebody who's so quiet, and you don't know how to communicate with them because they shut down. He shut down. So took him to therapy, and that lasts maybe a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, something like that. But he got better over time. So death can be traumatic. Sometimes we don't ever forget it, but we learn to live with it. Because I know with me, it was traumatic for me when daddy passed away, because I was only 24 years old when daddy passed away, and he passed away while I was at home on my lunch break. I had gone home to check on him, and he passed away while I was at home on my lunch hour. So I had to go to the high school to tell my sister and my brother that we lost our dad. They were teenagers. So my sister Vanessa, they were really, really sad. But to be honest, I really didn't have time to grieve, because I had to really become a true grown up. I had to not just raise my son, but I had to also raise 2 siblings out of nowhere. So God gave me the strength to get through it, because this was beyond my suicidal attempts. So I'm thinking, now, what if I had taken my life away? I don't know what would have happened to my son. I don't know what would have happened to my brother and my sister. So after I helped my brother get through what he had gone through, then my sister passed away. This July, my sister who I raised, she passed away when she was 33 years old. This July 28th this year, she will be gone for 20 years now. So my nephew Sean was 9 years old when his mother passed away. That was very traumatic for him. I mean, that was his world. His mom was his world. He doesn't know he know of his dad, but he does not know his dad. His stepdad is in his life. But when I tell you, his mom was very, very instrumental in his life, to the point where he slept in the bed with her. So can you imagine somebody at age 9 losing a parent, especially one that they were in a bed with every night, that he loved and adored? His mom loved and adored him. So my sister was living with me at the time, so I carried her to the hospital because she wasn't feeling well, but she never made it back home. I carried her to the hospital on a Wednesday, and she passed away on a Monday. And I can remember having to tell my nephew that he lost his mom. And I'll never forget that scream and that yell. Oh my goodness, this child screamed. He ran through the house like you've never heard before. It was the scariest thing to see this child run through the house screaming and yelling when we told him his mom was not going to come back home. That was so traumatic. I can see it right now. I can hear him screaming right now. What in the world do you tell a 9-year-old? How in the world can you comfort a 9-year-old? That is so hard. And that was his world. That's all he knew. So I'm his aunt, but I'm not his mom. So that was not the same. So I remember when we went to the funeral, he did not cry. He didn't cry. He only cried that one time. And that was the time that we told him about his mom passing. He cried one time. He didn't cry anymore. So we had to make a lot of changes and a lot of adjustments after my sister passed away. I put him in a school in our neighborhood, and he did okay, but the teachers were saying that he had a hard time adjusting, and they recommended some things because he was having a hard time adjusting. So I had to go get counselors for him. I had to get tutors for him. So I could see that wasn't a good fit for him because the school was too large. I thought that he probably needed a smaller setting. So at this point, I put him in a private school in 9th grade, put him in that private school. And the private school was okay, but still not what he needed. It was okay, but again, not what he needed. So at this point, I'm like at my wit's end because all the teachers are saying, okay, we need to get him some help. So I decided to put him in a military school. And a friend of mine told me about it. Put him in a military school when he was in 10th grade. So he was there in 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. He graduated there, and he did extremely well. And the reason why he did so well is because it was so structured. So somebody was always there to be able to monitor things and to watch him, and he really enjoyed it. Now, it wasn't all that good when I dropped him off because that school is about 3 hours away from us. So I remember dropping him off. He sent me a letter, and I remember just like it was yesterday. In the letter, he said, "Auntie, I cried. I cried because I didn't want to be here. He said, did you cry? And of course I cried. I cried for 3 hours. I cried all the way down the highway for 3 hours. I didn't tell him that. So he said he cried and I cried too because I didn't want to do that, but I was trying my best to save my nephew. I was trying my best to put him somewhere where he could thrive because we went from one place to another. So he was involved in sports. He was involved in the band. He was involved in the drill team. I mean, amazing program. Amazing. Outstanding program. Fox 6 News even did an article on him. I need to find it. They came down to the school and did a story on my nephew. They talked about, passing of his mom and how he had to make all the adjustments. So, yeah, he did an amazing job. He was in the parades, the Veteran Day Parade here in Birmingham. Did amazing. He was like a leader there. Oh, my gosh, did great. Did so well until he received a full scholarship to college. He received a full scholarship to Kentucky, to Berea College in Kentucky. He did extremely well, got that scholarship. So we drove to Kentucky, and that's where he started going to school. Well, once he got there, he fell into a dark place again. And I got to tell you guys, this is not something that you see coming. You don't see it coming. And I know I can relate to it because I've been in a dark place twice. That is not a good feeling at all. And you don't, even though you got all the things around you, all the love around you, but it's something about that dark place that you can't seem to find your way out. So I received a phone call from a friend of his and said, you may want to go get Sean. And this was during the time that my son was diagnosed with a brain tumor. My son was in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and my nephew's in Kentucky. And they're both needing me at the same time. My son on this end, way across the United States in New Mexico, and my nephew way across the other side of the United States. And they both need me at the same time. It was in February. It was in January of 2012. So as I was making arrangements and making plans to go to Albuquerque, I had to stall and go to Kentucky to pick up my nephew. So I went and picked him up, brought him home, but I kind of had to put things on hold for him to go fly to Albuquerque to go take care of my son. So once I got everything leveled off with my son, came back home to work with my nephew. So I got him the necessary help, was getting him help, and he seemed to have been getting better. Started trying to get involved in things. And so, like in the last, say, year or so, going back to a dark place again. It's kind of back and forth. So last week, I saw it coming again. And I started praying. So I got to say this, guys. If you have a situation, if you're in the Birmingham area, I've got to say that St. Vincent's East, oh my gosh, they saved my nephew. That hospital is everything. When I tell you, that staff, they did some things. Now, the one thing I got to say, guys, when you meet people, I don't care where you meet them, whether it's in the hospital, store, on the job, wherever you meet them, the one thing that stands out about meeting somebody is how they treated you, how they made you feel. That's the one thing that's going to stand out, if nothing else stands out, is how they make you feel. And when I tell you they made my nephew feel like he belonged, that he felt like he was loved, they made him feel that way. Even though we make him feel that way, but sometimes when people are in a dark place, the people who are closest to them, even though you show them all the love, they can't seem to grasp that. So going through the things that they did to help him, he received it so well. He did. He received it so well. They worked with him. They had him involved in things, activities and things like that. And they watched him and they supported him. They loved on him. I know this because when I picked him up yesterday, my nephew has not smiled in so long. I forgot what it was like to see him smile. He had, the yes ma'am and the no ma'am and the yes sir and the no sir. He used to say that all the time, but all that ended. But now he's back to that, like I got my nephew back. So it was like I didn't know what to do. Sometimes you feel like you at your wit's end because you got so much on your plate. Because my brother Jeff, same thing. He seems to be in a dark place sometimes, so I have to do things to bring him back around. My nephew, same way, had to do things to help bring him back around. Me, I'm grateful that God saw me through it all, because had it not been for the things that, had it not been for that, I wouldn't be where I am now to help them. So God gave me strength to be able to be here to see them through what they're going through. And Lord knows I am so grateful. So sometimes you think that things are going bad, like last year when I lost my job of 37 years and I thought that was the worst. But you know, sometimes things work out to your advantage and you don't even know why. Because there's no way that I could have been able to freely go to these appointments like I need to now, be available to do the things that I do now. So sometimes things happen and you don't even know why they happen. So now, since I'm my own business, since I have my own business now, I'm able to free up and do the things that I need to do when I need to do it for my family. I wouldn't have been able to do that had I been still on a job. And as a matter of fact, I'm not with a job anymore because Mama got sick and I had to shut down and take care of Mama. So I want to say, guys, by the grace of God and for the fact that you guys prayed and we felt it. You sent all the love and the prayers our way and we felt it. And God wrapped his arms around my nephew. He is so much better, guys. Oh my gosh. He is so much better. We spent a lot of time together yesterday. We spent a lot of time together today. God is so good. When I tell you, I didn't know what was going to happen. I had no idea of what was going to happen with my nephew. But I'm so grateful because he's been spared. A lot of people don't make it through this, don't make it through the dark places that they're in. And I'm forever showing him my love, because yesterday when I picked him up, first thing I asked Sean, I said, Sean, what you want to eat? I know you're hungry. He said, I want some Jack's. So I took him to Jack's. I said, what you want? He got chicken sandwich. So when we got home, he asked me, he said, Auntie, are you going to go by Walmart? I said, yeah. I said, you want to go? He said, yeah. So we went there and I let him go on a little shopping spree. I let him just go and get some stuff. He felt so good. We were looking for a Roku, whatever you call the thing, for the TV, and we couldn't find it. So he went and got help. Things that he normally wouldn't have done, he did it on his own. He was initiating assistance. Even when we got home, he was volunteering to get stuff out the car, which he had not done previously. So it has been a miraculous change since he felt the love. He felt all the love, all the hugs. He felt it, guys. I felt it too. So I want to say thank you to all of you guys. I kind of wanted to bring you up to speed about what's been going on and let you guys know that he is so much better. Like today, he said, Auntie, I need to go get a haircut. So went and got a haircut. I said, what you want to eat today, Sean? So I carried him to Zaxby's, got him something to eat. So he is happy. Oh my gosh, he's happy. He's smiling. He's engaging. He's wanting to do things. It's like he was in such a place that he didn't want to do anything. So now, by the grace of God, he is feeling like he want to do things, and he's smiling. And I let him talk to a few friends and a few family members. And I just to see his facial expression, to see him smiling, like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen that in so long that I didn't even know it was there anymore. So thank you guys for all your love and your prayers. We felt that, and we do appreciate everything you guys do. Appreciate your love and your support in every way, through my business, through supporting me with my family, the prayers. I feel it all. So thank you guys so much for being there for us. Love you guys. Bye.